you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Mount Pulaski School Superintendent Jason Spang. Mr. Spang, good to see you, sir. Been a while. You doing all right?
Yeah, good to see you, Seth. It has been a while. It's been pretty busy over here. I know we had to reschedule a couple of times. I apologize for that, but yeah, I'm excited that we got an opportunity to catch up today.
Yeah, I felt compelled to reintroduce myself. We hadn't talked in so long. I was wondering if you'd forgotten who I was, so I felt
never, my friend. You look fantastic.
Same to you. I noticed you're in the gymnasium this morning. If folks are catching you on the Zoom or on the Facebook or YouTube, they're seeing you in the gymnasium. What's going on? Why we set up there?
Yeah, out of the office today, kind of making my rounds, but planting over here at the high school. We actually, our sound system just went out about a week ago, and so we were able to order a new mixer, got it expedited from South Carolina, and we had to get it because tonight's the regional championship for the girls Class 1A regional. We are hosting that here. We are lucky enough to be playing in it, so we play Stewart's and Strasburg tonight, but pretty excited. I had to get over here and test the audio. To make sure all the fans that show up tonight aren't disappointed.
Yeah.
So
does it work? Did you get it working?
Oh yeah. We're ready to roll.
Are you a tech guy? You can just get that and put it up yourself and all that stuff.
Back in my days, I was pretty resourceful. So it helps being a previous athletic director, previous principal. Working up through those ranks.
Sure.
So helping out in those situations. But one thing I did want to talk about is we have a new activities director for the district who started January 1, and it's a very, very familiar face to our district, and he is Mr. Joel Washko. Mm-hmm. Joel was our head baseball coach that took a couple different teams to state. Mm-hmm. He was here for about 10 to 12 years, and then had an awesome opportunity in Lincoln to go start his administrative career. Mm-hmm. And he had always kind of hoped maybe for an opportunity to come back to Mount Pulaski, and that opportunity presented itself sooner than later. And he was by far the number one candidate, and so we're ecstatic to have him back.
Yeah, and kind of odd for a staffer like that, an administrator, to join kind of midstream, if you will. Are you at liberty to speak to how that played out?
Yeah, it was just a resignation. That's essentially the end of it. It wasn't a termination at all. It was just a resignation from our current activities director or our activity director at the time. And so we were kind of scrambling, and I actually jumped into that role and was a superintendent / AD for about 2 months. And so that's also part of the reason that you and I had to reschedule so many times, just because it was so crazy busy. But
makes sense.
Needless to say, it was all worth it. And Joel is in here. He wraps up his type 75 this spring, and he has just been a blessing. We're ecstatic to have him back. The families are ecstatic to have him back.
Sure. Very good. Very good. I want to get into this, Mr. Spang, something that would be, I say life-changing. I don't know if that's the right word for the district, but, folks have probably heard about this potential data center coming to rural Logan County, and it would be, smack dab, I don't say middle of your district, but it would be in your district and would provide quite the financial windfall. What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, it's all obviously none of that is official yet. I know they're having conversations. They've had conversations. I've attended a couple committee meetings up in Lincoln for Logan County. HUD-8 is the company out of Miami, and they build data centers all over. My first concern was how it's going to impact our taxpayers within our district, as far as being close to it. The safety of the water table, the Mahama Aquifer, all of those things that have been thoroughly discussed. But my number one concern is our students and families, and that will always be number one. And so, I don't want to speak for HUD-8, but they tried to address some of those concerns at some meetings, as far as it being a closed loop cooling system, and it would not affect the aquifer. I don't know all the details. I'm just regurgitating what they are saying. So, but to answer your question, I mean, if it all ends up coming to fruition, then yeah, it would be a game changer for our district. It would be significant increased tax revenue. And, like any responsible governmental agency, like our school district, the first thing we would do is, pay off our debt would be, pay off our bonds. That would be a tax abatement in itself. And then, so that would be some tax relief for the taxpayers. And then, obviously further abatements, is what we want to consider for our community, but we don't want to get over our skis and too far down the road. Obviously there would be opportunities for us to maybe expedite the progress of our facility improvements. We are slated to break ground in summer of 27 for new construction and renovation over at the elementary school. Could it possibly impact that? And we pivot on that? Yeah, all of it's possible. But again, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We're keeping a close eye on it, Seth, but it definitely would be a game changer for our school district and for Central Illinois.
What is the process still to play out on that? If and when that gets approval, what would be the kind of timeline of when you might realize some of those dollars?
Well, what I am hearing is, I'm hearing within the next 30 to 60 days, they should know a lot. Now, again, I want to be clear. I'm not speaking on behalf of the Logan County Board. Those are just things that I've heard. And so I believe it has to go through a zoning committee first to be passed along to the county board. Again, I don't speak for Logan County, but I believe they're expecting to get kind of a feel on which way it's going to go within the next 30 to 60 days.
Gotcha. And so based on that, is there, if it's approved, is there, like a dirt moving date and completion dates and all those things?
So from HUD 8's presentation, they did communicate that if it got approved, from the time they break ground to the time of completion is estimated to be 18 months. They said, again, I'm just regurgitating numbers from their presentation. They said it would cost $5 billion to build it. Again, it would bring significant tax revenue to Logan County. And of course, the school district gets a huge portion of that. So apologize. That's our bell. It's passing period, but no students are going to be coming in the gym, Seth. We're safe.
Very good. I didn't even hear it, actually, to be honest with you. So kudos to whatever system you're using there on your phone or computer or whatever it is. But
sure.
Hey, I want to ask, you talked about, and we have discussed this in our previous conversations about your elementary school, multi-million-dollar proposal that you've got out there. If this were to come to fruition and you've got significant dollars coming your way, would you scrap everything and say, hey, let's wait for this money and maybe we'll just build new facilities thanks to all of this? What's your take there?
No, I've had some of those preliminary conversations with our board members. I don't believe, I'm not speaking for the board. I don't believe we would scrap those because, part of the $20 million capital project for the elementary school, it's two phases. One phase is new construction, one phase is renovation. And so the new construction would be on parts of the elementary school property that currently don't have a structure there. So it would be like across where the playground is. And so we could still move forward with that phase of it without impacting the current classrooms that we have. And so, would we pivot and possibly consider not renovating parts of the building or proceeding at an expedited rate or expedited pace? Absolutely. I don't foresee us just canceling the plans to build the elementary expansion. Just because the tax revenue base that we're using for that is the new wind farm, the Chestnut Wind Farm, which is actually called the Top Hat Wind Farm. And that is fully online, and we'll receive that tax revenue in June of 27.
Gotcha. This is a silly question. I feel like it's a really dumb question, but you get that much money coming into your district. Like how low could you go with your assessment for property values?
It's a great question, Seth. And you know, someone wise always told me that if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. So
Mm.
in those situations, I don't know the exact answer to that. I know it would be significant from the people I have spoken to, and rest assured that if that data center comes to fruition, we will bring in experts to help us through that process. The last thing we want to do is make a mistake. And again, our top priority is always our students and families. And so keeping that in mind, we've talked about a number of things, improving our facilities, abating taxes, investing, if it would be great if you could invest enough money that the interest money that you earned would appropriate teacher raises every year. We've talked about those kinds of things. And so again, don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but
Sure.
we've certainly had structured conversations on the potentials and the possibilities to help out the families of the Mount Pulaski School District.
What's your budget on a year-to-year basis, like the total budget?
Yeah, so our tax levy, of course, you receive some federal dollars and some state dollars, but our local is the primary income, and it's about just short of a $10 million tax levy is what we have, and if if the data center comes to fruition, again, I'm just regurgitating what they're telling us. It could potentially triple, come close to quadrupling our annual tax levy, and that would be
Good
a
grief.
game changer.
Yeah, man. Again, a dumb question. Could you take your tax rate close to zero and just, let that data center fund your district for a while?
Again, I don't have those exact numbers, but Seth, I'll tell you this, we have had conversations that if let's say we did that, let's live in that world where we reduce the tax rate to zero. Again, HUD-8 is saying that if they came in, it would be a 15-year agreement with the potential to re-up that agreement for another 15 years. But let's say it's just here for 15. Well, then my concern at that point, and Jason Spang would be retired, but my concern for the community is when that tax revenue goes away and property taxes go back up, how significant would that be, and would that negatively impact families? So those are things that we want to bring families in from the community and have town hall meetings and listen to professionals. Listen to other parts of the state and other parts of the country where they've brought in these data centers, and how that's impacted those local communities. And we certainly are all ears. Again, our number one priority is our families and our students of the community. But those are all great questions.
Good. I'm glad they're good questions because I felt like they were really stupid, but
No,
be
not
that
at all,
as it may,
not at all.
it's got to be fun to think about the possibilities, right? And you hope that if this comes about, obviously there's processes that have to take place that are out of your control, but if this were to come about, it's got to be fun to think about, right?
It is, obviously your concerns lie and your fears lie. You hear pros and cons of these things every time something like this happens, and you hope that if this comes to fruition, that the cons don't creep into our district and those don't come to fruition, because those would potentially negatively impact families and the community. But from a glass half full guy and being an optimist, absolutely it excites you. It excites you to bring improved academic programs to your students. Increase of opportunities. We want the best for our students. So we just had 3 students at last night's I'm sorry, 2 nights ago board meeting. They were Illinois State scholars, and so we're super proud of that, and we're super proud of the opportunities and the classes and the programs that we have. Over 12 dual credit classes. We're excited about all of those things. And certainly if something like this would come to fruition, we would be able to build upon those opportunities that we work so hard to bring in.
Very good. Very good. On that note, Mr. Spang, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and break and come back with some more. Jason Spang, Superintendent of Mount Pulaski Schools, my guest on the Zoom. More to come with Mr. Spang on the morning show.
WHOW.
Bureau office for more information.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn and beans steady. Wheat trading higher. March corn down 1 3/4, 425 1/4. May corn down 1 1/4, 435 1/2. And December new crop 459 3/4, down 1 1/4. March beans 1137 1/4, up 3 3/4. May beans up 311.52, and new crop November 1114 1/2, down 2. March Chicago wheat 556 3/4, up 9 3/4. March KC wheat 560 1/2, up 9 1/2. March bean meal up $1.50, 305.40. March bean oil 58.92, up 33 cents. Livestock trade, March feeders up 67 cents, 371.25. February live cattle 246.77, up 17 cents. April lean hogs 92.75, up 20 cents. Energy market, March crude oil 66.01, up 82 cents. RFD Radio Network.
Struggling with corn rootworm, equipment clogs, and costly slowdowns? Say hello to Apello, a new soil-applied insecticide from Syngenta. Powered by planazoline technology, Apello is a smooth, tank mix-friendly formulation that tackles rootworm with ease. Say goodbye to the past and hello to bigger bushels and better returns at brighterwithapello.com. Always read and follow label instructions. Apello is a restricted-use pesticide.
The growers have spoken, and they're raving about Storin corn herbicide. We surveyed over 1,000 customers who've made the switch to Storin, and 99% said they'd recommend it to a friend. That's right, 99%. With a 9 out of 10 satisfaction rating, it's clear why Storin is the herbicide customers can count on. But don't just take our word for it. Ask your Syngenta retailer or visit storinreviews.com to read testimonials from Storin users near you. Always read and follow label instructions.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Mount Pulaski School Superintendent Jason Spang. Mr. Spang, I normally don't do this. Can I have your permission to do a shameless plug for something in Mount Pulaski we have going on?
Absolutely, my friend. I completely trust you.
So folks have probably seen the IL Sports Wire clips of Mount Pulaski Athletics. Of course, that's a subsidiary of the Hart Media Group. That's our group now. And we're going to be at the regional championship tonight, Mr. Spang, to document the game and put highlights out. So if folks are so inclined, maybe they can't make the game tonight and they want to know what happened, IL Sports Wire, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for those interested. Is that okay?
Seth, they've done a tremendous job of covering our school district. Hats off to them. I know they also cover other local districts. Clinton, I know, is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But they do an absolutely fantastic job just coming out and highlight student successes, interviewing students and coaches after the game. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
Yep, that's Jack Hart. That's our multimedia guy. Coordinates all of that. He's really taken that bull by the horns and made it into something special. Very, very unique for Central Illinois for sure. So yeah, we've enjoyed being in Mount Pulaski. It's a logical logical place for us to be. Clinton, Monticello are two others that we're in, and obviously just Mount Pulaski is a logical place for us to extend that footprint to. So looking forward to following your girls, Mr. Spang, and all their achievements in the postseason. Speaking of, let's talk extracurriculars. Re-highlight that regional championship game there in the gym you're in right now.
Yeah. So we play Stewart's and Strasburg tonight. They have a fantastic team. I was able to watch them play in the semifinal game, and they're tough. It's going to be a challenging battle for our girls tonight, but really encourage anyone that wants to see a great game and a great atmosphere to come out to Mount Pulaski High School tonight. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be rocking. So we're ecstatic to have it. I'm so excited. I'm literally in the gym right now, and it's completely empty.
Yeah.
So this is going to be my office.
You're so excited. You're there already. That's what it is.
Absolutely. I want to make sure I reserve my seat.
You wanted to get that front row spot. That's what you wanted. So very good. You got it. Anything else going on extracurricular wise with your kids?
I've just got one more plug here for you, Seth.
Sure.
So, part of our new district strategic plan is we wanted to recognize success and positivity on the hilltop. And so we have a new district recognition token of recognition, actually. It's called the Hilltopper Medallion. At Tuesday night's board meeting, we were able to award the second medallion. The first was in January, and Dean Cates, who is a long supporter of Mount Pulaski communities. He's kind of the Mount Pulaski Hilltopper super fan. He received it in January, and then Sarah Cooper, our district activities secretary, received it on Tuesday. But essentially, it's awarded to Mount Pulaski School District to those individuals who possess the quality it takes to demonstrate one of our following core values, and those are inspire, engage, and empower. They're in our district strategic plan, and they are engraved on the coin that we give as a token. So something we're very proud of. We're going to give away one a month to any staff, alumni, community member, or student, essentially any stakeholder that's had a tremendous impact on the Mount Pulaski community.
Sure. Mr. Spang, I wish I could talk more with you. Great conversation today, but I do need to let you go. What's the best way for folks to follow all things Mount Pulaski schools?
Yes, sir. You can see us on our website, www.mp23schools.com, and on our high school and elementary school Facebook pages. So,
very good.
It's been absolutely fantastic.
That's Jason Spang, superintendent of Mount Pulaski Schools, my guest on the Zoom this morning. Network news comes your way next on the morning show.
WHOW.